Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, my trainer just texted me, and he is on his way from Laredo. Come grab me. Said you should be here by 5 o'clock, which is crazy because I won't be there at 5 o'clock. It'll be the Loves here nearby. It's like 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, something like that. But only reason for that is um, my wife doesn't get off till like 6:30. She, depending on the time she goes in, obviously. So I told him, take your time because she don't get off till 6 or 6:30. They're not gonna let her out at 5 o'clock or whatever. Um, so hopefully that's cool. And like I said, if it's anything like our last load, I think the last one went from, I think our last Laredo load went to Pennsylvania. So probably have a ton of time. And I think there was one, I want to say there was one time, maybe it was Houston. Anyways, we went up to Springfield and we had like 3 days on it or something. And it doesn't take 3 days to get, it takes driving in a car with multiple stops, it's like 8 hours, so, something like that. I could be wrong, but, um, in a truck, you don't really have to stop that often. So you get there a little bit quicker. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's no big deal, but it's just one of the things you got to plan for. When you're TNT or maybe PSD, I don't know. I didn't do PSD, so I don't know how. I know you do go with somebody for like a couple weeks. Maybe go a week or two. That kind of thing. I've heard of that, but with like TNT, you kind of got to figure out where you get picked up. So my first trainer was from Arizona, so if we went on home time, he'd have to figure out a load from, to pass through to get me home and then hit, of course himself and then have to figure out a way back. So yeah, that's weird. At least with him living in Houston, it's a little bit better. So like, we're only 2 hours away, so we can, we can go home a little bit easier. And then there's not so much of a rush, to get back to it or wherever. So short video today, just to let you guys know that we are going to be heading out today. Like right now, it's 12:02 my time. So he said I'll be here at 5 o'clock roughly. GPS sometimes it'll say 5 o'clock, and for whatever reason, it starts to slowly creep up like minutes, and so you more than likely it'll be like 5:30. But there's nothing I can do. He's just gonna have to wait. Even though he's probably gonna be here at 5, there is no. I can't go and meet him at 5. I don't have we don't have a second vehicle, and even if we did, how would I get that second vehicle back? So I'm gonna have to wait until she can come and get off work, and she only works like 10 minutes down the road, something like that. So the second thing we wanted to talk about, which is probably why you saw the title of the video. I will link it in the description, but I made a Facebook page, not like you see some guys making like a whole new user account, so you have to like add that friend or whatever when it's it's really just a page. But it is EKM Transport, and it'll make it a little bit easier, to post more content instead of like at least like pictures and things and updates and that kind of thing, and I'll also post new videos there. When I upload a video, I'll upload it to YouTube, and then I'll post the link over there. That way everybody knows, it was posted. But for more like everyday stuff or like funny trucker memes or anything like that, or funny pictures that I see, instead of trying to figure out how to add them into Facebook or into YouTube videos, I'll just post them over there. If I see something funny at a truck stop, or if I want to make like a short video, like little shorts they have, I'll probably do that over there. And it makes it a little bit easier to have more of a community, rather than, all kind of meeting up on YouTube, having to search through all that and figure out what my new videos are. If you want to be notified of the video, make sure when you subscribe, when you click the subscribe button, also click the notification bell. And that will also let you know when I post new videos. But if you're anything like me, I got 54 subscriptions to people that I find funny, or things like computer stuff and all that. So yeah, the notification bell will let you know when I post new videos, like I said. But I'm also going to post it on that Facebook page, along with other stuff. Somebody asked me on one of the comments on I think my last video. He said that he had a Class C and that he got it renewed. And he was asking if he had to wait 12 months in order to apply for Prime. So I think there's a lot of confusion, and I don't know why. And I think typically the confusion is people that don't have CDLs. And so they assume that they just go up there with a regular driver's license and that's how it all works. So a Class C is just a normal everyday, you can drive your pickup truck, your car, or, that's your everyday license. Your Class M, as in Mike, that's a motorcycle license for those who drive motorcycles. But a Class A is a CDL, and a Class B is also a CDL. So a Class C is not going to, if you go up there with a Class C and expect to be driving a truck, that's not going to happen. So you have to do one of two things. You have to go to a CDL school, which I know people have done. Honestly, I know it works for people. I guess it depends. Like if you're gonna go drive for like a local company or like a bus station or like a bus station, but like a bus or something like that, I think those could work out. I know guys in the past have done, like when freight was way better. Yeah, going to a CDL school and then going, but what it's not going to the CDL school. That places like Prime and Swift and TMC and all that, they don't consider that experience. So, for instance, if you went to the CDL school and you got your CDL and bam, you have a Class A, it doesn't change anything. Just strictly speaking at Prime, when you come to, let's say you go to the CDL school and you get your CDL and, you apply for Prime and you show up, it's when you talk to the recruiter, they're not going to be like, oh, well, you went to a CDL school. Yeah, no problem. You can drive over the road. They don't consider that experience. That's not experience. What you're going to end up like me was basically they're going to go through, you don't go through PSD, you do like an evaluation. So it's not PSD. It's basically like they're going to evaluate you. They're going to drive. You might do a pre-trip for like your in-cab and your brake test, and then you might do a couple of backing maneuvers, and that's about it. It's probably the same stuff you did in your CDL school. And assuming that you can do all that, then they put you into TNT. So you just skip the PSD part. Now, if you're like the one guy that was with us when we did our evaluation, he was absolutely terrible. I thought for sure we were going to die, because we were in this truck. He's driving. The guy, I don't want to say who the guy was. That way people aren't going to ask him about it. Plus, he probably wouldn't remember anyway. But our evaluator, he was in the front passenger seat, and me and this other guy, Chad, were chilling in the back and like sitting on the bunk. There's four of us in there, so there's not four seats. And we weren't doing anything crazy. We were just around the pad and going around town. But man, I remember when he pulled out into the road and he started jerking the wheel real hard and we couldn't figure out why. And so I'm looking at Chad and he's just yanking on this wheel and he keeps looking in the mirror and the evaluator's like, yo, whoa, what are you doing? He's like, well, I couldn't see because the trailer was in the way. And he was like, well, the trailer's going to follow the truck. He was like, you don't need to jerk the wheel. And so we kind of like, oh man, like, what are we going to do? So then the very next thing, right after that happens, he tells him, hey, you need to get in the right lane. And there's 3 lanes on this road. And so he goes, okay. So he turns the blinker on and he just shoots over. And he didn't even look in the mirror. He went over to the first lane. And then instead of stopping in the middle lane with his blinker on and check the next lane to make sure he was clear, he was just going to shoot all the way across all 3 lanes with the tractor trailer and everything. And the evaluator had to end up grabbing the wheel and pushing him back to the middle lane because he didn't see there was a white SUV. So he about ran that SUV off the road and wrecked everybody. So I was like, oh my God. And the whole time I'm just texting my wife and like, oh, this dude's going to kill us, And so long story short, he didn't pass his evaluation. And he went to a CDL school, but he didn't pass his evaluation. So what he ends up having to do, if that happens, you go to PSD for, I think, a couple weeks. And then you do your evaluation again. I think that's what happens. So... But yeah, I mean, he had gone to a CDL school and he was telling us about it, but it was a CDL school that his friend had or something like that. So that's another thing. You got to be careful with these CDL schools. You can, just by knowing, do your research on these CDL schools if you plan on going that route. If they're they're not worth the money or if they're just like a scam and, charging you outrageous prices, and just make sure you know the details of the program. Like, how many chances you get, and when do you have to start paying, and just make sure you get everything in writing, and look through it before you just sign the dotted line and go take your CDL test. There's obviously legitimate ones out there that want you to pass and do everything they can to make you pass, but then there's some that just do the bare minimum, get you to pass, and then you barely know anything when you're out there. But again, if you do it that way and you go through Prime, you're going to have to go to the evaluation. You're still going to go to TNT, and you're still going to do 50,000 miles. The only way that you wouldn't have to do that is if you were already over the road. So, like I think we talked about this in the last video. Say you're with Swift and you've been driving over the road for 5 years, and then you decide, you know what, I want to go drive for Prime, and so you go to Prime, you apply. Maybe it's a week or two later, and then they probably will put you as an A seat. You might go through orientation, just the basics, and then they throw you into a truck, when how they do that, I don't know. I wasn't an A seat, but I know that there was a couple guys in my orientation that were pissed off because Prime didn't accept their experience, basically. Like, they didn't consider experience. One guy said he owned his own company, and he drove trucks around town and all that good stuff, and he drove them all over the road. He said over the road, but Prime apparently didn't accept that, and so it was they were going to make him do the 50,000 mile thing, and he was all mad, and he basically was just telling everybody, well, if you have to make me do that, I'm just gonna walk out and blah blah blah, and then, everyone's like, well, dude, they just go, like everyone was tired of hearing him complain. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it all depends on what Prime considers experience and that kind of thing, and just because you feel like you drove over the road, doesn't mean nothing. It's all depending on what they think. I think it's all got to be verifiable. So as long as it's verifiable, I think you're good to go. But again, CDL schools, do your research, that kind of thing. But I like I said, I get it. I know it's a popular option, and they say they can get you a job and all that. I don't know that I would believe that. If it was me and I wanted a job after I got done with school, I would go to Prime. I would go to Prime. I would go to TMC, Swift. I think CR England. Are they the greatest in the world? Probably not. I mean, they're of course they want you to work for them for a year. I think the two best companies in my mind will probably be three. If you want to get your CDL and go work for somebody, would be Prime, Swift, and TMC. To me, those are the three that are legitimate, that they're gonna, you get your CDL. They're not gonna like screw you on pay or anything like that. I heard there was a guy telling me that it was like he I don't remember what company it was, but he got his CDL, and it was like they told him they were gonna pay him 55 cents or 60 cents or something a mile, but to pay back his CDL training they gave him, it was going to be like half of that. So really, he was only getting paid like 30 cents a mile, and the other half of it was going towards like his like bill, like I was like, oh man, like and you had to do that for a year. So then if you leave before that year is up, you owe them that money. You got to pay them that money back. And that works the same way with Prime. But Prime doesn't do that. Prime doesn't take half your pay or anything like that. They just want you to work for them for a year, and that's you paying it off. Like, I don't know. Like I said, do your research. Talk to the recruiters, find out what works best for you. Don't just jump in. I know people like they want to get their CDL and they're all gung ho about it, but don't just jump into something. Do your research, figure out the company first. That's why I suggest Prime. Prime doesn't have those predatory practices. Now, you can ask 10 people and they'll probably all give you a different answer. Think of it like asking somebody about a Ford or asking some other guy about a Chevy, and they all suck, right? But there's other people that love them. It's the same way. You could talk to 20, 30 different people and they all have this different opinions about Prime and Swift and, all the different companies out there. So do your own research. Don't take anybody's word for it. You can sift through the bullshit for the most part, guys who have actually been there, some people have better experiences than others. It's just the way it is. Like I said, it's different for if you drove a Ford and a Chevy. You might drive a Chevy for 50 years and you decide to try a Ford and it breaks down on you in a month. It's just one of those things where, it's different for everybody. I will be back next week. My birthday and my niece's birthday is next week. I talked about that in another video. So I'll be gone for the rest of this week, and then I'll come back. My goal is to be back by Wednesday, the latest Thursday, because my wife took that Thursday off, and I want to be back by Tuesday, back on the road on Tuesday. But again, up to my trainer, depending on where he's at. But I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna like he's gonna tell me how long I can be gone. I want to be back on Wednesday, and then by like maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, get picked back up. Now, if he can't make it back till Thursday, Friday, that's fine too. I'm not gonna worry about it. But I want to be back for my birthday and my niece's birthday. It's her 1 year birthday. I already missed my daughter's birthday, so don't really want to miss this one. And I feel kind of bad, that I was gone. But to be fair, I'd only left March like 8th, something like that, and her birthday was March like 22nd or something. So, you can imagine like you barely just got onto the road. It's one of those like I took that one on the chin. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like missed it. Yes, it's a big one. It's a big birthday, but again, I didn't want to be like, oh, by the way, once you pick me up, I need to go back a week or two later, for a birthday. So that's why I decided, like after a month, now we're gone. And now we're on terms where I can be like, look, I know we came back for Easter, but I need to be back, next week for my birthday, and my niece's birthday. It's all being celebrated at the same time with all my family. So, again, something you talk to your trainer about, and they really can't tell you no. They're not going to be like, no, you can't go home. Well, then we'll be figuring something out here. We're going to have a chat because when I need to go home, I need to go home. Which is one of the reasons why I'm deciding to go lease. I know a lot of guys are going company, and and it's probably working out for them, especially with the slower freight stuff. So a lot of deadhead miles I've heard, but I think that's mainly stuff that it's just like crap loads that people don't want to take. And because honestly, we always find a load, where we're at, and we don't have to deadhead very far. So hopefully it picks up. 16 minutes now on this video. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know the main thing was social media stuff. So I got EKM Transport on Facebook page. Go look it up. I'll also link it down below in the description. Other than that, I'm going to go and get some stuff ready. I got about 4 or 5 hours before I need to be out the door, and headed towards, Troy. There's a Love's there in Troy, Texas. So I live in Central Texas, so it's about 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away. So go ahead and get that stuff ready to go. Make sure I got everything. I had to go through my backpack and leave a couple things that I didn't need. So make it a little short. I got to get my pillows over here and make sure that's all ready to go. So I got some stuff to do. Guys, you be safe. Hit me up if you guys need anything, comment, questions, concerns. You can also go post on the EKM Transport page, and I can answer questions there. Probably a little bit more detailed than I can here. I know somebody wanted me to do a pre-trip inspection with the trucks, but honestly don't need to do that. Prime already did their own. You can just look up Prime pre-trip inspection, and it's a guy named Dave. Younger guy. He's actually still working there as on the pad and for Prime. So everyone's always like, "Oh, there's famous. You're famous dude on YouTube." Blah blah blah. So he's a little bit older now, but in that video he was pretty young. But yeah, they've already done a video, so I'm not gonna do that. And I don't want to waste my trainer's time, like holding to do a pre-trip. I'm not gonna do that. So, anyways, go post on that EKM Transport page. Go like it, share it. Blow it up or whatever. I will also post this video over there. It's kind of bare right now, so don't get too upset. I'm trying to get the content over there, so I'm typing stuff up, and I still need to find a background image and all that, but I'll do that later. I've got some other stuff to do. I got to do a little bit of packing. Not insane. Most of my clothes are already on the truck, but all my clean clothes that I had washed and everything. So, all right, guys, be safe. Take it easy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.